What up, Doe One Pride? My name is Antony Fitzpatrick. I am the Brit with grit, and this is Lions Nation Unite, the community created by Detroit Lions legend Herman Moore, where a wide variety of content creators come together into a single forum to discuss all things Detroit Lions. If you could help us out by liking and sharing this video, and if you have not done so to this point, subscribe to the channel if you like what you see, as we hope to build on the tremendous work done by our good friend Micro Mike in getting this project up and running as more of us start to produce content for the channel. This is the first video I have done for Lions Nation Unite alone, so if you could go easy on the critique on this one, I would be grateful. Anyhow, get into this. Today's topic, we are unfortunately talking about injuries. The Arizona Cardinals game levied a severe injury tax on our team, and I'm here to put all the details into one video, discuss possible ramifications of those injuries as well. So without further ado, let's get into this. And as I say, this list is rather long. We're going to start with the edge, Marcus Davenport, obviously our free agent signing from Minnesota this offseason. We gave him a 1 year, $6.5 million deal. He is out for the season, unfortunately, with an elbow injury. He was injured on a pass rush against Cardinals rookie left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. Questionable technique by the rookie, let's say, forced all the weight down onto Davenport's arm. It resulted in a torn triceps, and unfortunately for him, that's his second season now that has been ended with injury. He had a high ankle sprain, which got rid of his 2023 season. A crushing blow for Marcus Davenport. I must admit, I was skeptical about the signing given his injury history, but it's still horrible to see a player go down, especially after the start he had made here, which leaves a hole on our defensive line. And who is going to step into that hole? Thankfully for the Lions, Levi Onwuzurike, he is coming back from his own injury problems. He's had a really good start to this season. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, 12 quarterback pressures through 3 games. He has been playing a little bit more on the edge to help out. Is this going to be Josh Paschal's time to shine? Because he's not really seen the field that much thus far. And maybe is this going to be the opportunity that James Houston has looked for to reignite his career here with the Lions as well? One name that it will not be replacing immediately will be John Kaminsky. His name was shut down straight away by Dan Campbell as a replacement. Quote, he's still a ways off on his recovery from a torn MCL. One name he did mention, though, the Lions' 2017 seventh round pick, Pat O'Connor, who is at this moment on the practice squad, was mentioned by DC as a name that may come up to the active roster to provide cover. But no doubt this injury to Marcus Davenport is a big blow for our edge room. Moving on next, we've got Frank Ragnow, our center. Iron Man, Detroit through and through. This broke at about 1 a.m. in the UK last night and left us all particularly upset, but he has suffered a partially torn pec at the beginning of the Cardinals game. He's considered week to week at this point, and just, I mean, what a trooper this guy is. He's played a full game with a fractured throat, and now he's played a full game with a partially torn pec. Frank Ragnow is just built different. As I said, the injury was sustained early in the Cardinals game. He wants to play against the Seattle Seahawks. I would expect no less from from one of our toughest players in our upcoming Monday Night Football showdown with the team. But conventional wisdom would say to let him sit. As with the bye week approaching, it's nearly 3 weeks till the Lions' first post-bye game, which would give him an extended period of time to heal. If you've not already, our guy Easy's done a bit more of an in-detail video for Lions Nation Unite about this, so go check that out as well. But then this leaves a question for the other sides of the trenches. In terms of the offensive line, what do we do now? Now, personally, I like to keep the options simple and replace as fewer players as possible. Graham Glasgow, move him to center, bring in Coyote Awashika to play at that left guard position, and then we don't have to make any other changes along the line. Keep as much continuity there as possible. However, that's just me. I don't know if anyone else has any other options out there, but if you do, let me know in the comments below. Moving on next, we've got Brian Branch, and unfortunately for us, our star safety suffered a concussion in the Cardinals game, as yet unknown as to the severity of that injury, so can't put a timescale on it. But he suffered a nasty collision with Arizona Cardinals tight end Trey McBride. He was down on the field for several minutes before thankfully managing to get up on his own power and exit the field. Both players currently in the concussion protocol, and send out thoughts to both of them. You don't like to see any player get a concussion, and hopefully both Brian Branch and Trey McBride are well. As for the protocol, if anyone doesn't know how it works, he has to be symptom-free of concussions for 24 hours. Then he will have a ramp-up in activity to see if the symptoms return. And if there's no symptoms after a full load of work, then the player clears the protocol and is, free to come back to the team again. The Lions had this situation to deal with last week with Alex Anzalone, and despite him getting in practice, they did err on the side of caution and chose to rest him to give him maximum time to recover, because obviously long week before the Seahawks. And with Branch's collision seemingly worse than Anzalone, the noise was quite sickening when they hit one another. You've got to figure they may well go that way again, and then of course another long break after the bye to be able to rest Branch up, and hopefully that concussion is fully cleared by the time the Dallas game comes round. But in absentum, it's going to be next man up. And quickly speaking of Alex Anzalone, I've got to give a lot of kudos to Jack Campbell and Malcolm Rodriguez. They stood up and performed very admirably in his absence, to the point I didn't really notice that Alex Anzalone was missing in the game in the nicest way possible. But it's what good Super Bowl teams do. They suffer injuries. They have guys who are able to stand up in their place. And in terms for Brian Branch, what does this mean? Well, if Iatu Melifonwu's still having troubles with his ankle, if both those two are unable to go, you're probably looking towards Lawrence Strickland, the undrafted free agent defensive back from Ball State. He fought his way onto the 53-man roster. He plays all over the defense, but you'd figure he's going to be the next man to go up to safety there if Brian Branch is not ready to go. Moving it on next, we've got Alim McNeill, and he suffered a shoulder injury and has so far been listed as day-to-day. Not a great deal has been said about Alim's injury so far, just that it was sustained at the end of the first half of the Cardinals game. He did not return after exiting. It was initially thought to be quite serious. He was sort of lumped in with the Derrick Barnes description of possibly long-term, but not necessarily season-ending. But then on Monday, Dan Campbell used the term day-to-day. That insinuates it may not be quite so bad, but I would say the expectation at the minimum with him is that he will miss the Seattle Seahawks game. And then again, he's got the best part of 3 weeks to see where he is at come the trip to Dallas on October the 13th. In absentum of Alim, the Lions turn to the rookie Mekhi Wingo. He will probably see an uptick in usage in Alim's absence. And also the Lions, if it is a bit more of a serious one and he's going to miss some more time, we are able to recall Broderick Martin from IR after the bye if they feel he is ready to return. His knee injury was not thought to be uber serious, what he sustained in preseason 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So hopefully there's going to be a few options there for the Lions interior if Alim does have to miss a few more games. But hopefully with him, I say, not quite so serious. And then we get to Derrick Barnes. This is expected to be a bit more significant. So Derrick Barnes has sustained a knee injury. Dan says he is set to miss a significant amount of time. It was sustained on a suspected chop block in the first half again, of the Cardinals game. He had to be carted back to the locker room from the sideline. As of yet, nothing has been decided in terms of whether he's going to be going onto injured reserve. The team are receiving a host of medical opinions right now before deciding the best route to take in his recovery. But it does appear, as a minimum, we're probably going to be talking months rather than weeks on his road to recovery. And this is a huge blow for the team as he is our Sam linebacker. And for him, the player, he's in his contract year. And this provides the trickiest question for the team to answer in terms of replacing him. So if you're wanting to keep the Sam position active, you're now in a situation where you either have to put in another linebacker from the 53, none of whom are really trained to play that position, or you're going to have to dive down into the practice squad. So we do still have Mitchell Agude, we still have Isaac Ukwu, both of whom were repping at the position in preseason, both of whom had success at the position in preseason. But in terms of NFL experience, they don't have any as of yet. So you're going to go to either untested rookies who can play the position, or you're going to go to vested vets who can't really play the position. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Lions are able to cope with this one, whether they're going to get rid of the position entirely, whether they are going to try and put patchworks on it for now. But certainly Barnes, we are not going to see for a while. Say, hopefully he's able to get back because he is vital to this team. And for him himself, this is the year he's going to get paid, and we all want to see that happen. So those are the five predominantly big injuries that happened in this game. There were some other injuries as well. Sam Laporta, our vested tight end, he has a low ankle sprain sustained. He was blocking on the hook and ladder touchdown to Jahmyr Gibbs. He rolled his ankle. He went back into the game after that. I thought that was a crazy decision from the team to send him back in. He came out again pretty soon after. He seems to have avoided anything major. May put him in doubt for the Seattle game, don't know at this point, but definitely should be good to go for sure after the bye. So we hopefully have avoided anything serious to Sam there. There were a couple more knocks in the game. Terrion Arnold, he sustained a knee injury in game. He took a low hit from a diving Kyler Murray, which I thought was, a little bit iffy the way Kyler went about that. Seemed to target Terrion's knee, but he's fine. He came back into the game. Levi Onwuzurike as well. He had some form of a leg injury that hobbled him, but as I say, both of them returned to finish out the game. But don't be surprised to see them turn up on the injury report this week with some designations if they've got some knocks at the end of this game. And then, of course, we still have a host of guys who are coming off injuries from before. So we still got Ennis Rakestraw, who's rehabbing from his hamstring injury. We've got Ifeatu Melifonwu, who's still trying to get back from his ankle injury, especially with this injury to Branch. We could do with him back quickly. And of course, Alex Anzalone is still recovering from his concussion, but he practiced last week. I assume he's going to practice again this week. Hopefully, he's on the road to recovery, which will get him back in the team for that Seahawks game. So there is a lot to take in, and we want to hear from you in regards to this as well. Are there any specific players you would like to see get some more game time in absence of some of our injured players? Anyone you bring in from the practice squad? Any of the rotation players who've not really seen the field so far? Who would you like to see get their time to shine? And in case of the more serious injuries, do any of these have you looking towards the trade market for answers just yet? Or is it a little too early to make that call? Obviously, we're in a Super Bowl window now. We can't afford to fall behind. Do you think Brad should make some moves to get some guys in to negate these injuries sooner rather than later? Let us know in the comments below, and we will have a chat with you in regards to that here at Lions Nation Unite. Appreciate you all for watching this video. Obviously, we'll update you as more news comes out about the injuries, and hopefully we get a lot of good news going into the Seattle Seahawks game. If you want to see me a little bit more on here, you can come and find me at Roar of the Lions UK. my natural home here on YouTube. We are a group of very passionate Detroit Lions fans from the UK. So if you want to get your news and rumors from us from a British perspective, then do come and check us out. But of course, first and foremost, help us all out here at Lions Nation Unite. Like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy this. And let me know. Again, this is my first video for the channel. It'll be a learning period doing this, but hopefully you enjoyed this short update on all the injury situations here. But thank you all for watching, and we shall see you again soon. Have a great Wednesday, and it remains for me to say, go on Pride.